I'm just gonna be talking up here by myself, so yeah, don't think I'm weird or anything. Okay, cool. Alright, so I'm Avery, and this is gonna be really awkward because talking by yourself for 5 minutes is not easy. So I'm doing my Socratic seminar makeup assignment, and about how effects on communities and online communities and things like that. And just before I start, I'm gonna be really weird with this because when I'm uncomfortable, being weird helps me. So I'm gonna do that. And also I have my packet in front of me, so if I look down, it's probably that. And since there's no other people to discuss with, but I also wanted to keep it like a Socratic seminar, I have just some little notes to keep me on track and things to speak about. So I chose question number 1, which is smartphones, emails, social networking sites, and blogs, and other electronic communication have made our world smaller and increased the pace at which we live. Have these inventions also given us a new sense of community or opened up about communities that would otherwise be closed to us? Have they lowered and expanded our standards of what a community means? And so there's 2 parts to this question. So the first part is, has it given us a new sense of community? And I would say definitely, for sure, it has, both in very good and very bad ways, and some are just mediocre, given us new, senses of community. And so I think I'll go over the good ways first. And being connected to the internet, it gives us new people and new resources to be connected with who we would otherwise not be connected to. So I think I have a unique perspective from this that'll come into play when it comes to the bad one, just because I don't have that much social media. I just have Facebook, and I really only get on it to check birthdays. So yeah, I'm not really a social media guru. So I think that gives me a bit of a different perspective compared to people my age, because most people are on Snapchat and Twitter and Instagram and whatever other ones there are, because there's like 20 million of them. But anywho, so you can be connected. My first point was you can be connected with people who share the same interests as you would not know before. So like if you have an odd passion that most people in your area don't have an odd passion for, like surfing. So we're landlocked. I mean, you can't really go surfing in the Ohio River. So you can, online, you can speak with people and just make friends with people because of that passion, that probably live on the coast and stuff like that, that know how to surf. Or with like sports teams. Mostly here is a predominantly Reds and Bengals area, and you can, because of technology, you can watch games and be kind of a part of that community of players that, say, like the Ravens or the Yankees, that you're not really going to find around here. And then another way is that you can discover new passions through online communities. So like with music and with art and like different foreign countries and things like that, which seems really odd, but like, so for me personally, how this is related to me is like with my music. I have always liked music, like ever since I was a little kid, but my scope of music now is nothing like it used to be, and most of that is due to the internet and talking with, not people, but just reading different online forums and reading other people's comments in different communities like that. And one in particular, which I probably never, because I get constantly made fun of for it, but you know, it's fine. Bullying, no problem. No, just kidding. But I like K-pop, Korean pop music, and I do get made fun of it a lot for it, so obviously I had a hard time finding people that liked it here, but I don't care what they think, because I like it myself, and I can find people online, and I can talk to about it, and I can watch music videos and things like on YouTube, and to keep me connected with these bands I would rather have not known of without it being the internet, if that makes sense. And then also, my last point, and I know there was a article, it wasn't the one, I read articles 5 and 6, I probably should have made that clear in the beginning, but in article number 3. So I'm using this article as a good and bad. So for my first part is good. It says it's online forums are a lifeline for isolated parents of disabled children. And I was watching a documentary actually 2 days ago about Cincinnati Children's and how there was this family that had a son that was born with Down syndrome, and they realized that he was also deaf. And so they went up to Cincinnati Children's and they got hearing aids made for the little boy, but they lived about 3 hours away. And so they used this, I forgot what it was called, but it was like this kind of like a computer that they would do e-visits through, so they could check up on his health and his hearing aids and make sure that everything was working right. And even we can see this too, even if we don't have loss of hearing or anything, with e-visits. I know, Ms. Caldwell, you said that you went on an e-visit, although it was kind of fruitless because they wouldn't give you medicine unless you actually went in. But that just that gives you a door open to a community of doctors and specialists that you probably wouldn't have if you had to drive or something like that. You can also, I'm not really sure if this would count as a community, but like 911 and being able to contact people if you're not safe or something like that, or if you're in a car crash or something, you get to, it's more of a community, it's a contact to a community that which you're already in, like your family, or a community of cops and EMTs and firefighters and things like that. So that's just some of the good ways that it's connected. And I'm sorry, this is probably going to be a bit long. Probably would have been better if I just did a Socratic seminar, but it's fine. But also, there are a lot of bad ways that the internet and media make communities, I guess. So, this is a big problem for kids my age, so that's why I think I can talk about it, but there's so many bad communities that you can be open to, and one of them is mostly pornography, and there's hundreds and hundreds of pornography websites, Pornhub and X-rated movies, or whatever they are, and it's not like before, where you just look at your dad's Playboy magazine and have a little secret thing. Now, since it's so accessible, it's made to a new sense of normal, and you make kind of communities out of it with your friends because you talk about it, and it's really common, I guess. It's desensitized. That's the word I'm looking for. It's desensitized, and people don't think it's that bad because, hey, everyone looks at porn, it's fine. But it's not. And the same thing goes for, sorry, I thought someone came in. The same thing goes for like greed and drugs and things like that. For greed, you get to look at all of these. You can look at so many pictures of like these beautiful models and these like gorgeous women and things like that, and you can, what's the word? You covet them. You covet their beauty, and you want that for yourself, and it gives you a bad self-esteem. And it also can get you into this community of bullying, and that's a community that usually people don't specifically want to be in. Even the bulliers, I don't think they go out on the internet saying, I'm gonna be a bully. It's just something that happens because people think that everything's anonymous and they can just start hurting people without any consequences, and it's bad for everyone involved. And that's a community of bullied people and a community of bulliers. Bulliers? Yeah, that's a word, right? But they're two different communities that or cyberbullying, I'm guessing, is what I'm talking about. I guess that was clear, but should have made it more clear. But it makes a community that you wouldn't rather have without online and being connected constantly, and it's not a community you want to be a part of. It's a bad community. And also the exclusion from communities. You oftentimes hear about girlfriends and things like that getting upset because, oh, you didn't like my post, oh, I'm not in this group chat, and people feel excluded over dumb things. Like, it's kind of ridiculous the lengths that some people go to, to be liked and not liked, and how offended people get when they aren't getting the attention that they want on social media, and that creates that excludes people from communities, I guess you could say. So it's kind of like the opposite of community. It also provides another people for opportunity for people to be abused. Like I said, without the internet, there would be no cyberbullying. And how many people do you hear of that are getting cyberbullied? I actually, in number 2, in the second, it's the one with all the charts, and then the second chart that's labeled online experiences. What was it? So 92% of people that were in the survey said that the online environment allows people to be more critical of others. And it's got a lot to do with being afraid to say things in real life and having a voice, that you wouldn't rather have in real life. If you're timid and shy on the inside, then you usually can harbor some things like that, and you'll let it come out on social media and things like that, which isn't healthy or safe, and it can end up hurting a lot of people. And you also get exposed to a lot of danger when it comes to the website, like fraud and things like that, but not even just internet danger, but like physical danger. There's so many times, I watch crime shows for fun, but there's so many times where I've heard of young women or men, even men too, that would go and they think that they're going for an audition, or they're just trying to get a drug hookup that they found out online or something like that, and they end up getting kidnapped and either murdered or forced into sex slavery and human trafficking, and it's a real problem. It's not just something fake, and today we get so we feel so comfortable with people, and that kind of goes into the second part of the question, which is, has the standards of community lowered or heightened? And I would say for sure that it is lowered, because in my opinion, a community is a group of people that you can trust and that you feel safe with and that you could count on if you need them. And I think that the fact that people online that you don't even know are getting so much trust from you just baffles my mind. How people, like on Snapchat, there are people that are that have like their location on, so anyone can see where you are, and that's really scary, especially with some people that don't really monitor who is following them and is just doing it for follows, like having the most that they can have, and so people that don't even know follow them, and some crazy stalker could come and like kill you. So that's, yeah, it's mind-boggling to see how little it takes to gain a person's trust, and it's kind of scary, especially for young girls like going into college and things like that, and young men for that matter too. Just trusting people so closely that shouldn't already have that trust, because we only show the parts that we want to show on social media. And why do we expect other people? Why would we expect other people to show their full selves if we ourselves only show our full selves? We're not going to be showing our sad and lower points in life on social media. We like to show, oh, look at this restaurant I went to, look how much money I have, look at my new outfit, or how good my makeup is. It's a way to show off, and it's other people do that too, not just us. So it's kind of weird how we expect trust from other people, or other people gain our trust so easily just because they say they make a more idealized version of themselves. And also another thing that I wanted to discuss was in my passages. So I did 5 and 6, and in number 5 it was talking about how internet was uniting the world and helping people see other parts of the world. And I think it lowers our sense of community, because here it says that this Syrian refugee man appeared in heartbreaking images posted online by an Icelandic journalist of him and his 2 daughters, I believe. I'm not sure. It says 2 children. I know one was a daughter. I think there are 2 daughters, though. And he started a GoFundMe, I believe, something like that. And over $117,000 was donated by people worldwide, and it changed that family's life. And I mean, that's great, but this is gonna sound really selfish, and I don't mean it to sound this way, because I think we should help everyone, but, well, yeah, something like that. But I feel like with how much homelessness and trouble there is around us, we should focus on what's around us first before reaching out and trying to help other people, if that makes sense. Like, I know it sounds a bit cold, but it's easy to get behind something that other people are donating to. So it's easy if there's a big GoFundMe for the Syrian refugee that's all over the media, and so you can feel like a good person. But, I mean, there's homeless men that live just right down the street. I mean, they're hungry, they're tired, they probably have kids, and it's harder to do that because of how you think you might look, because you're not getting the praise for it, I guess. Because, again, that goes into trying to make the best image of ourselves and trying to look good compared to others. And so it's a lot easier to jump on the bandwagon of someone who's already being helped, but because of that... Okay, sorry, I ran out of space, so I had to delete some stuff so I could finish that. But to finish my thought I was saying before, because we are so focused on outside, we're ignoring what is happening right around us, and the trouble and the pain and the hurt and the people that need help right around us, just because it's not cool or whatever, if that makes sense. Oops. Okay, and then I had one more point. And, it was making friends online, and I haven't made friends specifically online, but I cultivated friendships through online resources, and I think that you can't really have a true friend from, like, just meeting them online unless you do actually meet them in person. And even in, Companions of My Heart on making friends on the internet, he even talks about how sometimes he'll have his online friends over when they come to town or anything like that. So I get where he's coming from there, but I think there's plenty of people that just solely have friends that are online, and I don't think that's a true friendship, because like I said before, you're just showing the best parts of you. You're not showing every part of yourself, if that makes sense. And also, when making online friends, you do have to be careful of people, like I said before, like sex traffickers and drugs and things like that. And in this, he says it ironically, Brianna is going to die because the only people on the internet are us and murderers. Talia isn't us, so Talia must be a murderer, and I will have to carry on Brianna's legacy as best as I can with only half of the best friend's necklace to remember her by. And obviously that's over-exaggerated, and there aren't that many murderers on the internet, but there's a few. There have been plenty of things that have happened just because of the internet. I mean, back, what was it, 2010, 11 maybe? These girls met another girl online, and they were worshipping Slender Man and, like, being a part of a cult and weird stuff. So, I lost space on my phone again. I didn't realize that I forgot to finish it, so this is like 2 weeks later, so I went to go edit it, and there wasn't the end part. So, what I was saying, the Slenderman girls, they're like, yo, we're gonna worship Slenderman and stuff. And they get this other girl that's like, yo, I wanna worship Slenderman too. And then they killed her. Straight up, like, murdered her butt. And that sounded very insensitive. But, like, that's just crazy to think that, like, she wouldn't have done that unless they were online. Like, they wouldn't have known about Slenderman. She probably wouldn't have met those people. And she could be alive today. And that just kind of goes to show some of the bad aspects of the interwebs and community. So, yeah, I couldn't remember what I was talking before that part. So, hopefully, this is a good wrap-up. It's been good and it's been fun, but my time here is done. Have a great day, San Diego. I mean, Ryle. I mean, Miss Caldwell.